Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex here. And in this video, this is going to be another part to how to overcome call reluctance. I don't know how many parts I'm going to make with this, but this seems to be what most of you want to hear. So I'll give you one more tip. Let's get started. So the tip I'm going to offer you in this case is to recall your past accomplishments. Right? So when I first started calling, and this came from the book Zero Resistance Selling, which I'd recommended in another video. So this was a good tip that helped me. What I'm going to recommend is if you're a former athlete, if you played an instrument, if you, got good grades, whatever it is that you've accomplished so far in your life, think back on that, remember the accomplishment, and then take that same energy and transfer it into making calls, right? Into this new task that you're trying to get confident in. For example, one of my previous accomplishments that I would use is back when I was in high school, kind of going into my sophomore to junior year. I was on the football team, and I was on the JV squad my sophomore year. I was a small guy. I was probably weighed like 130 pounds, soaking wet. And I was on the look team. For those of you that don't know what that means, that's basically you're on the practice squad and you practice against the varsity squad and basically get beat up every day, right? So I was the look team running back on the team, and I would just get hammered, but I didn't care. I actually got to the point where I really wanted to be on the varsity team. You know, I had an older brother, 3 years older than I was, and he played varsity his junior senior year. There was no way I was not going to start on the football team, right? Cornerback, receiver. In my sophomore year, again, I was on the JV team. I hardly got any varsity time, but in practice, I would always practice against the varsity and get beat up, basically. All right, so going into my junior year, that off season, we got a new coach, and that new coach had a pretty cool speech that I think it was that summer. He basically said there are no guaranteed jobs, right? So I was going into my junior year. All the juniors from that year were going into their senior year, of course, and for a lot of those juniors had already started that season, meaning they probably thought that, you know, they're going to automatically start their senior year, right? But since the coach doesn't really know anyone, there's no guaranteed spots. It's basically an open slate. It's a blank slate for anyone who wants to take whatever position they want, right? So I busted my butt that summer, worked out, I ran routes with the quarterback. I basically practiced my ass off, and I had nothing really else to do. I wanted to start that year. I wanted to be a starter, and I was going for wide receiver because, again, our D-backs were already pretty good that year. I was just practicing. I wanted to be on the receiving corps because what we did was rotate receivers in, and I just wanted to be a part of that at the varsity level while maybe playing JV on defense, right? So that's what I practiced hard at, and come football camp, I turned it up. I impressed some of the coaches. I ended up coming out of football camp a two-way starter. So I started wide receiver, ended up being the number one receiver on the team, and then I also started at cornerback. I switched between cornerback and strong safety, but during the year I ended up playing more cornerback than strong safety. So it was a huge accomplishment. I remember the coach on the last day of football camp, basically shouting my name. He was like, "Where's Alex Rodriguez? Where's Alex Rodriguez?" And this is while we were all stretching and stuff. And I was like, "The hell why is he calling my name for? You know, am I in trouble? What did I do?" And I raised my hands like, "Shit, I'm over here, coach." And he basically shouted out so the whole team can hear, "How does it feel to be a two-way starter?" Right? Because he knew I didn't start the year before. He knew I was someone that worked hard and wasn't really gifted with natural size and natural speed and natural ability. I just worked hard to earn my position there. And the whole team heard, and like it was just really a cool experience for me. It was an accomplishment. So that confidence that I had, and there's more in football, right? There's more accomplishments in sports, baseball. Take whatever accomplishments you've had in your experience where maybe it required you to practice, to work hard, something where you weren't naturally good at, or you basically sucked in the beginning, but you overcame whatever obstacles you had to do, and you ended up considering it, you ended up succeeding in whatever way you succeeded, right? It's an accomplishment. Take that same energy, that same I don't know how to explain it. Just remember that you did that, and know that because you did that, you can do this too, right? So the fact that you are already someone who's accomplished that, then you just have to apply what you did there, as far as work hard, grind it out, and apply that to making your calls, and realize that it's another process. It's just another thing that you go on to overcome and accomplish, right? So I don't know, that was just a short story. I hope that helps. I'll keep posting more on how to overcome call reluctance, because once you overcome that, and again, you don't just overcome it. How do I say this? It's always gonna be there, right? That anxiety. I still face it myself. It's just less and less and less. The more times you do something, it gets easier to overcome. So until you get over that hump where you know you're gonna make a certain amount of contacts each week, I actually track the amount of no's that I get. So how many times the seller tells me no, and that's for another video. But in the beginning, just track the amount of contacts. Set a goal, and then aim to hit your goal and become somebody that does what you say you're gonna do each and every week, and don't stop until you get to where you want to go. So hopefully this one helped. Be sure to hit the bell if you want to get access to live seller calls on a weekly basis. You'll get notified. They go private within 24 hours. So be sure to hit that bell, and look out for the next one. Thank you for watching.